Hey guys, we're here in Russell today. I'm Ericeli, one of the street team ambassadors, and this is Hannah.
Yeah, hey y'all, I'm Hannah. I'm the Residence Hall Director for Russell Hall, and we're just going to give you guys a quick tour of the building.
Yeah, and this is her office here, so if you guys ever need anything, it's right on the second floor lobby outside the doors. We want to show you guys how to get in really quick. As for students,
So as a student, you'll come in from the main entrance, you'll come over here, and then you have this keypad. You'll just swipe your card, put in your PIN number, and then this door will automatically open.
all right, so now we're going to head up to the fourth floor to show you guys some rooms. We want to be able to move furniture around and show you guys different positions so you can put things. And then we have Heather over here in the background. She's going to be feeding us some questions that you guys will be typing in the chat. So, do you have any move-in tips specific to Russell that you would say?
I would say not necessarily specific to Russell, but just in general, make sure you pack all the important things. I know students love to bring their decor and stuff, but definitely make sure you pack your toiletries, your medication, the really important things, because those little things can always be brought in later on in the semester.
Right.
And sometimes students can forget those things and the excitement of getting their room set up and making it cute, but make sure you bring the essentials first.
Saves you a lot of time too.
Exactly. Most definitely, because then you're not scrambling right before school starts to get your backpack and your notebooks and that kind of thing.
Right.
So make sure you bring those important things first.
Perfect. So this is one of the rooms. Okay.
There we go. All right. So this is 401. This is normally kind of one of the more popular room setups where one bed is lofted, one is a little bit lower. And as you can see, each side of the room has their own bed, dresser, a nightstand, a wardrobe, and a desk. But of course, the furniture can kind of be moved around for however the residents want it to be. Like I said, normally students do tend to loft their beds and stick all of their bigger furniture just underneath the bed, or both students will loft the beds and one person will have a futon under one, and then one person will set up the dressers and have a TV on top of them. It's just whatever works best for the two people living in the room.
Yeah. So we can move some things around and see what are some popular ways that students like to shift the furniture.
So normally, the desks normally do tend to be kind of in the corners.
Okay.
So move these out of the way. And the furniture tends to be pretty easy to move.
One of the questions that we get asked a lot is how do you put a futon? So if y'all want to shuffle stuff to kind of show where the best location or where maybe you would see other people put it on, that would be fantastic.
Okay, yeah. Here.
Let me move that.
And then they actually might move that dresser in front of the AC unit.
Okay.
So that way you can fit a futon under there. I think some students might move the desks all the way to the side and then move these beds further over a little bit so they can fit the nightstands in here. It really just kind of depends if they can get the wardrobe moved all the way and then the bed moved all the way. You can squeeze everything in on this one wall.
Yeah. And I bet you can also put the dresser against here, horizontal, so that it's more So you don't have to like move it against the AC unit. Like that. You could fit a futon there and then move things around so you have space for the microwave and the fridge.
Yeah. And sometimes students will even, instead of bringing like a big futon, they'll bring like a bean bag. So you could have just a little bean bag in this corner, maybe put a rug and have this be kind of like a little chill hangout area for yourself. And yeah, normally students will kind of coordinate with their roommate to see who's going to bring the microwave and the fridge if they want to do that, and kind of figure out those things before they move in, of course. Cool.
And then we're on the 4th floor, and the AC unit, I noticed, is on the floor. How does that work?
So on all the even floors, the AC unit is on the floor, and on all the odd floors, the AC unit is actually up in the ceiling. So that's how it works. And then also, you guys can see there's kind of bump outs in the room. Each room is a little bit different, so in order to figure out kind of what your room looks like, you'll want to look in the doghouse. But we do have bump outs in most of the rooms, but in each room it's a little bit different. Yeah. And I think we have a tape measure, so we can probably measure out some of them.
Measure some of the things.
So, let's see. So this bump out is about 12 inches out from the wall, and then how long it is. And then it's about 41 inches long. Then we have some smaller ones on the other side of the wall that are behind the wardrobes. And then same thing on this side of the wall. Probably should be similar length. This one is about 8 inches long. And then, let's see. And then about, again, 41 inches wide.
Yeah. And we can measure a few things if you guys want specifics in the comments. If you see anything, Heather, that we want to measure specifically. You can also talk about the Ethernet.
Yes, so the Ethernet is going to be located a little bit differently in each room. Here, it's down here, and students can bring their own little Ethernet cable to, attach to this wall, and then you can directly attach your computer, your TV, whatever electronics you want, and get that faster Wi-Fi.
Perfect.
How do people typically measure that storage as well?
I think typically students kind of will use like these little shelves on the sides of their wardrobes to store things, or they might get like storage bins to put on top of the wardrobes. That way they can store things kind of vertically, or they might do some compression cubes as well. I've seen some students that do that for like their winter clothes that they might bring. They'll bring them in compression cubes and then put them underneath furniture just to store them out of the way temporarily until they need them later on in the semester.
I've definitely seen a lot of those compression cubes as well.
Yeah, they're definitely very popular and very convenient. So they can have it and just kind of put it out of the way until they need it, and then all they need, I think, is like a vacuum or something to, tighten it up a little bit. But
yeah. And then what is this up here?
That I think is the Wi-Fi port. So let me see if I can move this wardrobe actually. Yes. So yeah, these are a few more like Ethernet cord ports. So if students want to get an Ethernet cord, run it up here and then run it down the wall and kind of fish it wherever they need to. Every room should have some sort of like Wi-Fi hotspot, so that's just where this one is located for this room. Great.
So what are the most common things that you feel like you see students bring here to Russell?
I think definitely futons are very big. Also, like nice area rugs, maybe storage ottomans where they can put stuff in there. Students also like to bring desk cubbies or like desk hutches to add some more storage to their desk area. And then, of course, like the fun decor of like posters, flyers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think students definitely like to bring in more storage elements, so maybe like a rolly cart or those like storage futons are always good to use for the students.
Yeah.
What size rug do you think?
I mean, we can probably measure that. Let's say, let's say right here is like about 6 feet would be good. Maybe it could go even to like 7 for like width-wise. So I would say something like 5 by 7 and bigger would probably be pretty good to cover most of the open area in the room.
Right. Yeah.
Another common question we get is the windows. If you can talk about how people would typically hang curtains or what, how the blinds work,
Yeah.
give us the lowdown on the curtains.
Yeah, so for the windows, for curtain situations, students will normally either do some sort of tension rod just across these points, or I've seen a few students get command hooks and hang them up on either side and then hang the rod off the hooks. Either way works, and then for the windows, it's just a normal window where you pull up, and then to pull them down, you can pull. Whoa! Oh my goodness!
Oh no.
Up.
That's great. There we go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And pull, flow. There we go. Got it.
Okay.
There we go. Whew, goodness. Well, yeah. And then normal blinds, close, open, all that stuff. Perfect.
And what's the measurement?
Let's see. It is about 56 wide, and then about 53 and a half long. Great. And then you can see the AC unit is also about a little over 50 inches wide, and then it sticks out about 10 inches, and then it is from here. It's about 29 inches tall.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, another question is, can you tell us a little bit about the beds? We noticed there are 2 different heights here. Is that, what does that look like typically when a student moves in?
Yeah, so it depends how high the beds will be set up when a student moves in. Each room is a little bit different, but on the bed frame, there are different kind of pegs that you can put them at. So the metal part of the bed frame has 2 hooks, so you just move them up and down and hook them on these like pegs to get whichever height you want. So you can have them, this one is, it looks like all the way at the top, so you can have them all the way up here, move them down, kind of move them around. We will have mallets, like rubber mallets, down at the front desk during move-in, so if students would like to come and grab those to then move these, you can use them to kind of hammer them up, move them around, and then put them, like secure them into the pegs that they're on. So we'll have those at the front desk. Students either have to do them themselves or they can put in a work order to have them moved, but that just might take, a day or two, especially during move-in with our facility staff kind of running around the building. So it's up to you if you want to move it yourself or just wait for facilities to lower it or raise it for you.
Do most students keep it lofted, or what other positions do you see?
I think it's a pretty good mix. I feel like most students do like to have it lofted, and then they just use the bed frame to kind of climb up the bed. But I do also see students that like to keep it a little bit lower, like this bed, and just use, the rest of the space for their, stuff. So it really just depends. I think having it a little bit lower is easier, for like mobility. It's easier to hop in bed versus this way you have to kind of climb up bed. But it just kind of depends on what the student is looking for and how much space they are wanting in the room.
Yeah.
Another question is, can you kind of highlight I know we've talked a little bit about what furniture there is, but the drawers, I know they have pull-out slots. Can we talk a little bit about what the furniture looks like?
Yeah, so for the dressers, they're just 3 pretty large drawers. Probably you can measure like how big they are inside. So they are 20 and a half inches long and then about 26.5 inches wide, and they're all the same size. Then for the kind of smaller nightstands, there is this little pull-out table. I think students like to have these by their desks, so that way it offers them a little bit more kind of countertop space. So they have this little pull-out drawer, and then they also have, again, another drawer inside that is, let's see, it's about 21.5 inches long, and then about 14 inches wide for this drawer. And then down here is more of a cabinet that students can bring in their own lock. This one might be locked.
Earlier, I noticed they had a really strong magnet on that. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, it's just kind of an open area where students can store whatever they have. And then there's also a port back there, so they can also put electronics. If they would have like a gaming system, they can put it in here and then feed the cables out through the very back. Right.
And then you mentioned these lock.
Yes, so these have this kind of open locking mechanism. So if you have your own lock, you can put it through these two little holes and then lock it in case you want to store like valuables in there that you maybe don't want other people to have access to.
Yeah. I think we can go down to the
third floor.
third floor.
Perfect. We'll check out the room down there.
And then this is also one of our lounge areas. Each floor has a kind of common area right off the elevator. And then in addition, each floor is different, but some of them have either warming kitchens or extra lounge areas. So we have a lot of those just spread throughout the building.
Definitely a great way to make community.
Yes.
Lots of movie nights here at Russell.
Yes, definitely. Anytime I come up in the building, I'll see residents just hanging out in the common areas. So definitely a great place to hang out or study, whatever you need.
Tell us a little bit about move-in. What are they going to expect during move-in?
Yeah, so for move-in, it'll be pretty busy for those few days. Students will, park their cars out in the Russell lot or the big parking deck, and then they'll come into the building. They will come into the lobby. They will be greeted by some of our staff, and they will go through a few different stations. So the first station is the kind of just general check-in station. We'll check your name, make sure that you're here during your move-in date and time, and then you'll also get a sticker for your ID just to show that you live in the building. Then you'll go on to the second check-in table, and that's where you get your key and you get signed into our system, so that way you have access into the building. And then the third station is our moving carts. So you will get that cart, you'll give us your name, your room number, and then your phone number, and we will let you have the moving cart for about an hour so you can load up all your stuff, move it into your room, and then once you're done, you'll bring it down to the lobby. We might have a bit of a wait because we do have a lot of students coming through, so if we do have a wait, you'll just give us your information, and then we will give you a call as soon as we have one available.
Yeah, and I also see a lot of students get worried about the 15-minute time frame on the move-in appointment time. Mm-hmm. That's just for check-in, right?
Yes. Okay. So you move in, check in that 15-minute window, but if you're a little bit late, that's okay. And then you have as much time as you need to move in all your stuff and unpack. So yeah, don't worry about that 15-minute window. It's really just for us to say, hey, come in during this time. If you're a little bit late, that's okay. But we don't accept anybody early, so just know that you'll have to come in from that time onward.
Okay, sounds good. So this is the third floor room, and it is going to be set up a little bit differently.
Yes. So similar to kind of what we talked about last time, this is a room where both students decided to loft their beds, and so you can see the furniture is arranged a little bit differently. So this side of the room is just fully open. Students could put a futon right here and then might put like a TV on these two nightstands that are on this side. The dressers are together over here in this corner, and then the wardrobes are on different sides. And like I said, the AC unit, since this is a odd floor, the AC unit is on the top, so not on the floor like it was in the last room.
Yeah. We can probably move a couple things around too, I think. So yeah, you can probably even fit like a nice futon here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Put a microwave and fridge in.
Yes.
Very spacious and a lot of room to be flexible with what you want to bring.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, students will normally, they might even put the microwave and fridge under the bed, that kind of thing, just kind of wherever fits best in the space. And I would recommend that students, talk with their roommate and figure out who is going to bring what, so that way there's not multiple microwaves and fridges, because that will cause electric problems for the room. So definitely only bring like one fridge, one microwave, and just share, or figure out if you guys want to maybe use them in the common space. We do have on the 3rd floor a full kitchen that has 2 microwaves, 2 fridges, ovens as well. So some students just use that area. So just kind of talk with your roommate and figure out what is best for the 2 of you.
Definitely make sure to coordinate things beforehand so that when move out happens, you're not worried about what belongs to who.
Yes, definitely.
And we noticed on this floor, the AC is on the ceiling.
Yes.
And then is that typical for all the rooms on this floor?
Yes, it'll be typical for all the rooms on this floor. All the rooms on any odd floor will have the AC unit at the top. And then even floors have the AC unit on the bottom, like the last room.
And then another question we get asked a lot about is, I know you showed in the other room the Ethernet ports, but are there Ethernet ports in all the rooms as well?
Yes, there should be in every room. And then there's also, I believe there are some as well in the common areas too. So if students want to go out there to study, they can bring their Ethernet port or cable and then use that out there in the common rooms as well.
Great. And then electrical outlets, I see a few of those around the room.
Yes, yeah. So there should be a few on each side. I see 2 on this side, and then 2 on here, and then I think there might even be one back behind this wardrobe. Oh no, but there's one right here. So yeah, there's about 5 in each room, so that way each student has access to kind of their own on each side. So that way they have plenty of outlets to plug in all their electronics.
It looks like those are our main questions for the room, so we can head to the community bathroom and show that.
Absolutely. Oh, and then I don't think I mentioned it in the last room, but each room will come with a trash can and a recycling bin, so that way students don't have to bring their own. That should be provided in the room.
And where do they dump out their recycling and their trash?
Yes, so for trash and recycling, students will head down to the very first floor, and there are directions and signs that show where the trash and dumpster is. So it's down on the first floor in one of the parking lots.
Sounds good. So now we're entering the communal bathroom on the 3rd floor. As you can see, we have tons of sinks here. And then these are the showers.
Yes. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 showers in this bathroom, and then there's also I think about 9 toilets as well, so plenty of space. Each shower also has their own designated door, so it is a private space. You'll enter, it'll just be you. There's also a little bench that you pull down so you can set your stuff down here. There's also a hook, and the light is in here, so you have your own private space to do your business, take your shower, and then once you're done, just leave the door open so it can kind of let all that steamy air out. Same thing with the toilets. Again, it's only private space. You'll come in, lock the door, and you will have nice private space to do your business, and then go to the sinks to wash up.
Yeah. And definitely bring a nice sturdy caddy and then
and
some good shower
shoes, definitely. Yeah. We do have residential building service workers, which are our custodians in the building that do come and clean the bathrooms every day. So they are kept very clean, but we do also, of course, ask our students to, pick up after themselves, take care of their spaces, to help keep everything clean for the community.
Exactly. And then we're passing by a few study rooms right now, and then this lounge area with a nice TV and couches as well.
Yes.
So what does a nice Friday night look here?
Yeah, definitely. Most of these areas are pretty full. you said, we have TVs in most of the lounge rooms, so students will come and watch football games or play video games. They'll connect their, Xbox or PS5 or whatever they have to the TVs and play games. So it's definitely very full. Some students will hang out and just chat. So yeah, definitely people like to come down here. This is one of our warming kitchens. So we have a microwave in here. So if a student wants to bring their popcorn out here, heat that up and then watch a movie night, that is always something that people are doing. So definitely lots of students come down and just enjoy hanging out with their friends in the common areas.
Yeah. Well, do you have any last minute tips for your future Russell residents?
I would say definitely check out, the events that your RAs are doing. They'll always be posting flyers on your hall and then also in the elevator lobbies of events here in the building and then just in general on campus. On the first day, we will have a grab and go breakfast for students. This is also a chance for you guys to meet our RBSWs that help keep the building clean. So make sure you stop by and yeah, I think those are the big things. We're always trying to do fun events in the building. We also have a really strong community council for the past couple of years that are students that live in the building that help us host events. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely talk to your RA about that. But yeah, definitely trying to get involved here in the building and just on campus and just take enjoy the most of your experience and just try to do as much as you can.
Yeah.
I know we didn't get to see it today, but can you tell us a little bit about laundry and how that works?
Yes, so we have our laundry room is here on the 3rd floor. All students will come down here to use the laundry room. I think we have about 28 washers and about 25 dryers, so normally plenty for the building. They each have their own system. They each will say how much time it's going to take. So I would recommend students come down, throw their stuff in the washer. It'll say it'll take, an hour. So definitely set a timer for maybe 55 minutes, go up to your room, then come back down right before so that way you can move it on to the next part of the washing process. We also do have folding tables, so if students want to fold their stuff up before they take it up to their room, feel free to do that. And then we also have a ping pong table and some little seating areas, so if you also just want to sit and hang out in the laundry room, feel free while your laundry is running. But yeah, normally students are able to get all of their laundry done. I would say the slower times are probably during the week, and then the busier time is on Sunday afternoons. So if you can, try to avoid Sunday afternoons to do your laundry. But yeah.
Sounds good.
And you might have already mentioned a little bit about this, but can you talk about mail and packages and how that works here in Russell?
Yes, so students can get their packages shipped to Russell. It's the 515 Baxter Street address. If you go onto the UGA Russell website, it also shows on there as well. But once you get a package delivered to the building, our desk assistants will log it into our system, and then students will get an email that says, hey, you have a package, come down to the front desk to get it. You'll just come down, tell them your information, and they will grab your package and give it to you. Package delivery is definitely very busy during the very beginning of the semester because students are getting stuff sent in. So even if something gets delivered to the building, it might not be ready to be given to you quite yet. So just wait until you get that email from our front desk assistants. They will let you know when to come and get it, and just know it might, in the very beginning of the semester, there might be a few delays when it comes to getting packages. So you might get something delivered to the building on Wednesday, but it's not ready for you to pick up until Thursday. But as we get into the semester, as packages slow down a little bit, that should be mitigated. And feel free, if students need to send things to the building, if they're out of state or if they just have a lot of stuff, they can. I would say about 2 weeks out for a move-in, you could start sending things if you want to send 1 or 2 boxes to the building and then just pick it up during move-in.
Yeah. And also make sure to put your room number
Yes.
on the address.
Yes. Put your room number on there so that way we know who it's for. And yeah.
Yeah.
So people need to make sure it's arriving after they move in.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, don't have it come before because at that point you're not in our system. So our desk assistants will assume that it got delivered to the wrong address. They'll send it back to sender. So make sure it doesn't arrive until after you've moved into the building. So that way we can log it into our system and we know it's for you as someone who lives here.
Lovely. Okay, just a couple more questions that we typically get asked and wanted to ask you as well. I know in the rooms there is not cable TV. They can't hook up to cable, but there are other areas that they can watch cable in the building. Where are those? How does that work?
Yeah, so they would be like these common areas. So there's a TV in here, a TV in this lounge as well. So they are throughout the building. And yeah, you guys can come down, use the cable here in the lounge areas or the study areas, and they are throughout the building. I think the only part of the building that wouldn't have TVs would be the very first floor. We have the Russell Academic Center. So those are some study spaces, but they don't have TVs. But other than that, every floor should have at least one TV in a common area or a lounge area.
Okay, I think those are all of our major questions. Is there anything that you have you want to kind of say to close us out today?
I don't think so. I think, if you guys do ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or the Russell front desk. Our desk assistants are very knowledgeable about the building, so they can definitely help out, or feel free to contact me directly. And yeah, we look forward to having our students move in very soon.
Yeah, and this video will be posted on our YouTube channel and posted again on Facebook. So if you guys have any more questions, just feel free to comment down below. But that's about it. So thank you for showing us around, and we'll see you guys soon.